from Cebu to Manila, and then now Manila and making it to Manila. Making it in Manila pala. Like,
Mm,
'di ba? Kasi sigurado may process 'yan eh. Hindi naman basta-basta oh,
yeah,
we got nominated here. Yeah, hindi.
yeah.
Kasi 'di ba you have to go through, you have to talk to so many people, you have to book gigs, you have to make yourselves known, 'di ba?
Mm.
Like, well, how was that experience?
Gigs, gigs, and gigs. We just kept playing any
Mm-hmm.
gig that we could get. Walang arte. Could be the biggest gig ever, and then the next day we'll play like really small shows, small barrios. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Because in the
So it
end of the
was
day, yeah, in the end of the day, you enjoy playing music. I was lucky enough. I was with bandmates that just really enjoyed playing music. It wasn't about the fame. It wasn't about um uh making money. Money was
Mhm.
secondary. It was really about playing music.
Okay.
So, kumbaga, everything else that came after that was just a bonus. Kasi when we came here to Manila, the first few times that we were here, we were sharing a room. We lived in we called it we lived in Sikatuna Bliss sa
Mm-hmm.
building 8 in QC. Now we called it pa nga ghetto-minium
Get to me.
kasi para siyang building ba pero
uh,
you know what I mean? And then we take tricycles to the venues, take
mhm.
jeeps, take buses, and
With
then
equipment to, no? With
yeah, and
equipment
then
pa. Oh.
uh, food namin was on a regular was instant noodles,
Mm-hmm.
and then we didn't have anything to cook with, so we all invested. Nag-invest
Invested.
kami na yung pang-init ng kape, yung
Yung
thermos,
ano, oh, yung electric pot.
electric pot na yung
Uh,
may coil. So pang coffee in the morning,
yung ano sa
may
ibabaw,
coil
yung
sa
ano,
ilalim which was funny because when we cook naman pancit canton or noodles, you have to scrape the noodles from the coil kasi paminsan sumasabit yung mga natitira eh.
oh, pagka uminom ka ng kape, ang
Oh,
lasang
lasang noodles.
tubig ng
So
noodles.
nagagalit ka pag, uy, pare, linisin mo naman yung after mo gamitin kasi paano ako magkakape kung
Uh, di ba?
yung ganun. And then if we have money, if we're lucky enough na we were able to get a gig that paid good,
Mm-hmm.
well enough, ayun, pizza.
Yeah.
Yun yung price namin. Pizza. Yeah.
Like the small luxuries of ano band
So,
life, no?
may pambili ng load to call home. Yung mga ganun. So it was a struggle. We were already a signed band, ah. We were
Mm.
major. Some people think that when you get signed to a major label, it's like, all right, we made it.
Right.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Well, at least for us, it wasn't like that.
Mhm.
We really had to
Diba?
scrape.
Kasi at least now we're telling people of the process eh. Kasi yun din yung like before we started doing this, parang I started hearing stories of people who don't understand the process or they
Yeah.
don't want to go to the process, they don't appreciate the process, they just want, 'di ba? And you can't really blame them because everything is instant gratification na ngayon eh. Like
Yeah.
you want something with just a click of a mouse or tap on your phone, it's there. So
Mm.
all of a sudden now people suddenly when it comes to certain things
Yeah.
na you really have to put in the work,
Yeah.
medyo dun sila nagkaka-problema and then they find struggle and they
Yeah.
couldn't really handle the struggle and the stress that comes with the struggle.
Yeah.
So at least ngayon nakikita nila that anything good, okay,
Yeah.
comes with its own set of challenges and its own
Yeah.
set of problems. Diba?
That's
So
that's the danger lang of the new generation now because everything is easier for them in
mhm,
terms of how they can record their material. It's way easier because you can have a home studio in just like a snap of a finger. You can if
yeah.
you can afford it, if you can have and then it's so easy for them now to put out their material. So sometimes yun yung nagiging balance paminsan of the good and bad. Sobrang dali for you to come up with your material or release it. Pero now, paminsan nakakalimutan nila that there's a struggle that comes with actually promoting it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
That's true.
So, na
That's
paminsan
actually
pag,
good. That's
yeah,
actually good. Diba?
na
Kasi parang
you have to humble yourself paminsan when it comes to promoting, you know. Walang pili ng gigs. Because as much as you can, because the point of you coming out with art is be able to reach out to people. So, ano, so the only best way to do that is actually go out and perform.
and then ito lang yun. Ako personally, this is one of the reasons when the sound of urban dub was so unique in its sense na yes, it belonged to a certain genre, but at the same time it was able to cross over into other things. It was able to tap to other things like it was able to tap into emotions of people. So parang how were you guys able to come up with the songs? Like what was the creative process behind it? Like from the writing to the conceptualizations. Kasi para siyang rock na may hugot eh, di ba? I mean, it was a lot of the songs were well written. Di ba? Ang ganda nung construction ng lyrics niya. It was, I mean,
Thank you.
compared to the songs during its time, and I was during that like 2000s, it's ano eh, parang iba yung lyricism ni Urban Dub compared to the other bands. That's probably, well, in my opinion, that was one of the things that set it apart from the rest, di ba? Because the narrative was always, it was actually telling a story. So at least yun, what was like, for example, some of the songs that you could remember, like what was the process or what were you thinking, di ba, during writing those songs?
Wait. As a songwriter, kasi parang uh, I was heavily influenced by storytellers. You have your Jeff
Mhm.
Buckley's, uh, Bob Dylan, uh, even like sa mga mabibigat na mga bands, like let's say uh, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, or
Mhm.
maybe Chino Moreno from Deftones. Parang may kwento eh.
Mhm.
May mga metaphors, they use metaphors a lot, pero in the end, parang it still ties in the whole story of what they're trying to yung story ng kanta, kumbaga.
Mhm.
So I kind of subscribe to that. Even like sa local, like Eli Buendia is my all-time favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So parang may kwento eh, parang nakikipagkwentuhan siya sa'yo. Alam mo yun? So
Yeah.
parang I've always had that in my head. Francis M was the same, you know what I mean? So so a lot of the songs was mainly me telling a story of what we were going through. It was very collaborative when it came to that. Parang everybody in the band had their role. I wrote the song because I wrote the song in its basic form. I tell the story because I was, unfortunately for them, I was their frontman and I had to sing it.
Mhm.
So I had to sing I had to sing something that I could relate to. So a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff I could relate to were the stories that I know.
Mhm.
And then what's great about my bandmates, kumbaga, they were also storytellers, but through their instruments. Kumbaga, it wasn't just a matter of putting chords for them. It was like, ano yung emotion nung kanta? And they would fit the chords to yung emotion nung song. And even put, even the intricate parts na parang to enhance like maybe a word in a line of the song, na they put an emphasis on that note or that chord or maybe a
Mhm.
hook into it para lang ma-elevate yung kanta. So basically, kahit na wala yung lyrics, wala yung kumakanta, when you hear the music, it still captures that uh, emotion.
Mhm.
Kumbaga.
Yeah.
That's our formula kami as a band, especially during that time. And you can only write what you know. And unfortunately, during that time, we were in our early 20s. Actually, I started writing for Urban Dub. I was 19. So most of the stuff that we wrote was bitterness and heartbreak,
Puro
being
hugot, no? Grabe, no? Parang iba rin talaga
alcoholism,
pag hugot, eh, no? Yeah,
drinking.
heartbreak. Yeah,
Yeah,
Heartbreak
kasi
make good story, ano, make for good songs talaga.
and you'll see it naman also the progression of our albums. Like
Mhm.
from the beginning, it starts off. The first few albums was all bitterness and heartbreak, and then midway through the albums that we released, it was already dabbling more on philosophies. There's a
Mhm.
good
Yeah,
balance of both until we
there was an
became more
evolution.
political,
Yep.
and then up until the last album release, it was more philosophical already and esoteric.
Mhm.
Dala sa edad.
Okay. And that's it, the
Yeah,
experience and then
experience. Dala
diba?
sa
And
edad.
the
Yeah.
evolution of the genres and your music as well.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to music, this is something I ask people that who have gone through the stages. I mean, what was your indicator or ano ba yung, what is the turning point of shipping, or when do you know when to release a song? Like for example, the song is fine, okay na to, maganda na yung hook, maganda na yung melody, maganda na yung chords, okay, release na natin siya. Record na natin, release na natin siya. Kasi a lot of people now, they're very much paralyzed by perfection, na parang, hindi, wait lang. Di ba?
Yeah.
Maraming ganun eh. Kahit ako, minsan may ganun ako eh. Parang before,
Yeah.
I'll just write and then biglang isipin ko, teka, draft ko muna to, baka meron ako maisip na bagong word or ibang pwedeng sabihin, how to narrate it. Now, when it comes to you guys and the process of from writing, creating, and then it's time to publish or release the song, like, ano ba yan? After it's done, okay, release na? Or minsan nag-hold back kayo kasi you have, there's probably a better arrangement for it. Or
Uh,
may edit or may revisions.
no, our rule of thumb is always capture that moment, that particular moment. Capture the moment. Kumbaga,
Okay.
kung ano yung moment na tapos nyo yung kanta and all members are all happy about it. So, naka-bank na yun.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just a single, then ganun. Capture that moment, and if you feel na it's good, and then you feel good about it as a collective, then you release it. Pero in our case, since we grew up in an era that still made albums,
Mm-hmm.
so kailangan each song all the songs are interconnected in a way. There's a theme. So the challenge now is which songs to release first.
Yun.
In what order?
Order.
What kind of story are we trying to tell here? Parang ganun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it boils down also na kasi it comes with it also the music videos and ano ba yung kwento? Ano ba yung what are we trying to say now?
Mm-hmm.
As a body of work. But now everyone's releasing singles. So
Mhm.
yung sa akin dun, since it's single based na now, capture that moment. And if you feel na when you paminsan kasi yung artist mararamdaman mo naman talaga na okay to. And then you release it. You just have to get over that fear and then or that anxiety na hindi magugustuhan. Pero in the end of the day, fuck it, diba? It's just, it's your art, diba? And if people don't like it, then parang okay, gawa uli, diba? And then even the best songs, the hit songs that you can come up with once you release it, 5 years down the line, when you listen back to it, parang sana I did this, sana I did that. Kasi you also evolve as a musician. You get better at your craft. You get better in terms of your understanding about how to approach music.
Mm-hmm.
So, parang when you hear it, parang, ay, dapat ito na lang ginawa ko, dapat ganito. So, with us, it happens na parang that's why when we have live shows, the album version is very different with the live version.
Exactly. Kasi napansin ko yun, di ba? When I watch your gigs nyo, parang sabi ko, teka, parang hindi yun yung original na sound nun, di ba? Parang parang siyang remastered.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh then also for the player.
Yeah.
Para you don't have to keep playing the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's true. Kasi I mean, parang it seems like you answered my follow-up question eh. Parang was there ever a song that you could recall that you thought hit to, okay to, maganda to, then you release it tas nag-flop?
Oo, maraming ganun.
Diba? Parang isip, ang ganda nito, ganda ng pagkakagawa. And then, when you released it, parang it didn't get that much, parang you thought it would be a hit, and then all of a sudden, the audience didn't really accept it that much.
And it goes both ways. You have songs that parang was written so fast that parang, okay, it's just one of those songs. And then when it was released, parang yun pa yung nag-hit. So it can go both ways. It can go both ways.
Okay. So at least ganon. At least may ganon din kayong experiences, 'di ba? Kasi a lot of yun din naman eh. Most of the people I was able to talk to right before pa, lahat sila they had pieces of work that they thought was good and really good that wasn't really accepted by their audience. And this is not just the audience that we're trying to tap. As in, yung audience na nila mismo. As in, yung for example, there's this writer, he released a short story, tapos akala niya magugustuhan ng fans niya or ng community niya, biglang all of a sudden, hindi pa yun yung, I mean, it bombed. Diba? Then all of a sudden, he released something that was just spontaneous na nangyari sa kanya a few weeks ago. Pag-release niya, tuwan-tuwa yung mga tao dun sa story
Yeah.
because it was so relatable daw. So I'm like, okay, at least the same goes for musicians,
But
'di ba?
you
And
can
then
never predict naman din kasi if your song is gonna be a hit or not. Kumbaga,
mm,
as an artist, parang kailangan you're just happy with your work. You know what I mean? And then bahala na si Batman.
yeah, exactly. This is exactly what a lot of people, whether they want to venture into music, into sports, into whatever careers they want, is that there are certain things that are very unpredictable, but
Yeah.
you still have to put in the work. You still have to go through the work. You still have
Yeah.
to churn out work. Dahil yung iba kasi, yun, for a while, that was my problem. Buti na lang si Reese, she helped me get rid of it in the sense na you don't have to be paralyzed by perfection. I mean, if it
Yeah.
flops, it flops, it flops. If it doesn't, then, di ba, good for you. Kasi
Yeah.
kung hindi, you'll end up not releasing anything. You'll end up not doing anything.
Yeah.
Di ba?